A questo punto inizia la trasmissione. Tutti i partecipanti sono in grado solo di ascoltare.
So, hello to everyone. My name is Francesco and I work for Vinidea. This is Sara Legler from Horta. She's
Hi,
going
good
to be
morning.
she's going to be the presenter for today. And I ask you, if today is your first webinar, please write it in the question and tell me where you are connecting from, so that I can say hello to every one of you. And while waiting for other participants to show up, and we would like to give them a few minutes to chat with you. So, okay, so Michele is actually Italian and is from Bari. So hi, Michele. So shortly we will be updating the presentation of the speaker in the document section, so you will be able to download it. Just give me a few minutes to do that. And yeah, Sara, if you want to start your presentation, go with it. I will be in the, if someone has any question, the presentation should last like 30 minutes, and if someone has any question, just write them and I will be in the back answering them. I will turn off my webcam so that the internet can go faster. Okay, Sara.
All right, thank you very much, Francesco. Good evening or good morning to everyone, depending from where you are connected. Today I will describe you shortly this live project, SOIL4WINE, we are working on, and in particular one main result and one main objective of this project, that was the development of ICT tool for the management of the soil in vineyards. So the project is a live project, 3 years of duration, now already at the end of its life. Coordinator was the Catholic University in Piacenza, and other partner were Horta, that is the spin-off company of the university, and I am from Horta actually. Vinidea, that you know, and 2 other entities, actually local authorities, connected the first Arter with the Emilia-Romagna region, and the second one managing natural area that you can see in the pictures are located in the Emilia-Romagna region, in the Po Valley in Italy, and in particular in the provinces of Piacenza and Parma. The main objective of the LIFE project were to achieve a better soil management in vineyard, and try to find and to apply strategies to soil management strategies to decrease erosion and runoff, and increase soil health and biodiversity. The second objective was to develop a decision tool for soil management, actually ICT tool to be used to transfer all the knowledge achieved during the project. We will see easy and user-friendly tool to be used by farmers that want to have some support in applying the best mitigation solution in case there are soil threats in their vineyards. Test this tool in 9 different farms in the project area to compare innovative soil management strategies with the standard ones, both on environmental aspects and on economic and social aspects. And finally, try to analyze and study possible solution to pay back farmers that apply this proper soil management. So this final aspect will be described in detail in a second webinar that I think will be next week. Okay, so first of all, we surveyed several vineyards, actually more than 120 in the project area, by visiting all the different plots and by making interviews to the growers to understand which are the main soil threats present in the vineyards of the project area. We also performed a systematic literature review on soil threats in European vineyards. So we analyzed more than 100 papers and documents regarding soil threats in Europe, and tried to classify all the situation, both the situation in the project area and the ones we found in the literature review, classified by these main soil threats. So soil erosion, decline in soil organic matter, soil compaction, hardpan, soil contamination mainly by copper, water scarcity, decline in soil biodiversity, and waterlogging. As you may know, there are other soil threats defined by the European Strategy on Soil Protection, but in vineyards, usually these 8 are the main soil threats. For example, we did not found evidence of salinization or yes, mainly salinization. And okay, as you know, soil management can have a direct impact on the vegetative productive equilibrium of the plants, can have an impact on the surrounding environment, both on the vineyard environment and on the surroundings, and can have an impact on the production costs and time to go back in the vineyards. There are main soil management strategies. For example, mechanical is the plowing, chemical the use of herbicides, agronomic the interrow sowing, or physical the using of organic or artificial mulching, and in some cases also flame weeding. Usually a combination of strategy is applied. In this project, we mainly wanted to work on comparing plowing and interaggressing. So a bare soil is exposed to weathering agents that can cause loss of soil structure, and also it is exposed to tractor traffic that can compact the soil and cause waterlogging or bad air infiltration. While a grass-covered soil, in a grass-covered soil, all physical, chemical, and biological characteristics are preserved. Nonetheless, if an incorrect grassing is applied, there can be some problems. There can be a competition for water and nutrition. There can be negative influences on grapes, on the development of grapes and their quality parameters. And there can be also high operative costs and difficulties. So it is really important to know which kind of intergrassing has to be applied, implemented, and it depends on the situation of the soil in the specific vineyard. Intergrassing can be, as I mentioned, of different types, can be spontaneous or artificial, so can be temporary or permanent, can be complete, so on the whole vineyard, interrow, even on the row, on all the rows, or can be partial, so only one row over 2 or 3. But it is very important because it can provide a lot of benefits. If we use leguminous, we can improve the nitrogen content because they have a deep root system that can interact with these nutrients through the whole profile of the soil. So that can increase also organic matter. By using for other species such the Graminaceae, we can protect somehow the underground water because they are able to hold back nitrates. They have also a deep and structured root system, so they can improve soil structure, but also control the vegetative productive equilibrium of the plant, the grapes. If we use Brassicaceae, we can control waterlogging because they have this taproot system that produces natural holes and facilitates water infiltrations. Some species can also have a biocide action against, for example, nematodes. In general, intergrassing can improve biodiversity niches in the vineyard and in the surroundings, can attract useful insects, and also stimulates soil microbiome. So there are actually a lot of benefits given by an intergrassing, but as I told before, it has to be a precise and a specific grassing in each different situations. As already mentioned, the main species, families of species that can be sold are leguminous, and we can have different species of vicia, also of pisum, Graminaceae. We can use oat, barley, rye, and as Brassicaceae we can use colza, mustard, and rape seeds. All these species have different characteristics and different requirements. So a lot of knowledge it is needed a lot of knowledge to understand the best mixture to use to seed in different situations. For grass cover, so not green, so sorry, these are mainly used to perform green manure, so temporary grassing, intergrassing. Other species from Graminaceae and Leguminose are used for permanent intergrassing. So we can use Lolium, Poa, Festuca, or Cynodon. As you can see, they all have different aerial and underground, so root system, very structured, that can improve the soil structure. Or we can use clover, different species of clover for a permanent intergrassing. Also, in this case, the different species have different characteristics and different requirements. So you need to know how they develop, if and when they can have competition with the grapes. But okay, they can improve the soil in the sense that with the tractor you can enter better in the vineyard. So to collect all this knowledge and to transfer this knowledge to the end users, to the farmers, we decide to develop this ICT tool that want to help the farmer in these different steps. So first of all, defining the specific soil in the vineyard and the possible related environmental problems. Selecting the best solution to address these problems, implement this solution in the vineyards, and then self-evaluate if this solution could improve the soil quality in vineyards. The tool was developed as a standalone tool and as a new functionality of an already existing decision support system called Vite.net that Horta has developed several years ago and is now used in Italy, but also around Europe by hundreds and hundreds of users, farmers and growers and technicians. So the tool for soil management is composed by different modules. There is, and we will see the different steps now. I will show you the different steps. So first of all, there is a checklist for describing the vineyard. So for describing all site characteristics of the vineyard. So where the vineyard is, which variety, trellising system, the different characteristic of the soil, so the textures, the water infiltration, so different attributes that characterize the vineyard, because the tool needs to know where it is working, okay? So for example, here you have a list of different vineyards that were described and that are present in the tool. For each of these virtual vineyards, the system calculates a potential risk of the different soil threats. Okay, so there is a computing engine that uses the site attributes of the virtual vineyard and provides an index of potential risk of these different threats. In this example, we have a medium-high index for soil erosion and decline in organic matter, and a low index, potential index, for decline in biodiversity and water stagnation. So trying to be, providing very user-friendly outputs by using colors, the system provides this potential index. For each soil threat, there is a description, so you can download a PDF with the description of the soil threats, the factors that cause these soil threats, and the main consequences. So the idea is to transfer this knowledge and to use the tool also from a didactic point of view. Second step is to assess in vineyards whether the potential risk for the different threats is real or not. To do so, for each threat, we develop a protocol, an assessment protocol, to be used in vineyard to evaluate the situation of the soil for the different threats. There can be evaluation visual assessments, for example, this for erosion, but of course it can be needed to perform some chemical analysis, for example, to determine the amount of organic matter. In this case, the protocol provides all the information for an adequate soil sampling and the list of the analysis that has to be required to a laboratory. Once the users performed this assessment in vineyards, he can insert the results in the tool through this user interface, and there are mainly drop-down menus, so it is also very easy to fill in. And the system provides information, so the system confirms if the soil threat is real, so is present in the vineyard or not. In this example, the red crosses are confirmed the presence of the soil threats in vineyards, so the user saw soil erosion and confirmed through chemical analysis a low organic matter content, and also confirmed the presence of water scarcity. Okay, so then the user says, okay, now what can I do to improve the situation? So which are the mitigation action I can implement in my vineyard to improve my soil quality. So with these metrics, we try to provide all the information to the user to understand which are the best mitigation action to implement against the different soil threats. So you have the different soil threats in columns and the different mitigation action in the rows. Mitigation actions that are different kind of interrow grassing, as we saw before, that can be green manure, can be permanent grassing, but also other actions. For example, the change in the disease control treatments, or the change in soil management actions, such as equipment use or death of working death, or also the creation of underground drainage system. The colors are related to the efficacy of the mitigation action against the soil threat. For each mitigation action, we also prepared a document with the description, a detailed description of the mitigation action, with an operational guideline. So with all the activities the farmer has to perform in the vineyard to successfully implement the mitigation actions. So for example, for an interrow grassing, how to prepare the soil for the sowing, how to perform the sowing with which seed dose, also indication on which kind of mixture to use with the percentage of the different species. So really an operational guide on how to successfully implement the mitigation action. Once the user decided which kind of mitigation action to implement, and he started in doing the different activities, he can register this in the report module of the system to have the story of what he performed in the vineyard. There are also indications on how to assess if the mitigation action was implemented in the correct way. So, for example, for an interrow grassing, a protocol for the evaluation of the grassing. So, if the different species that were sowed are growing correctly, if the soil is good covered, and if the biomass produced is abundant. At the end of the process, that can last several years, because, for example, if you want to improve soil organic matter, you need years, you need 3-5 years. So you need to implement, for example, an interrow temporary grassing by leguminous for 3-5 years in row. After this period, that is specified in the guidelines for each mitigation action. The user has to evaluate again the soil conditions. So perform again the visual assessment or the chemical analysis and provide the results, so include the results in the tool. And again, the tool provide information on the presence or not of the soil threats in vineyard. In this example, as you can see, after 3 years of a good interaggressing, soil erosion problems were solved, so there were no more evidence of erosion in the vineyard, and also organic matter content was increased, so there was not anymore the threats of low organic matter, while the water scarcity was still present. Okay. So the tool guides the user in all the different steps, from defining the problem, understanding which are the best mitigation action to implement to solve the problem, how to implement these in vineyards, and evaluate if after a defined period these mitigation action were able to solve the problems. So the tool now is under testing around Italy and around Europe, because we need to provide replicability in all Europe, since it was founded by a life project. As I told you at the beginning, the tool is available as a standalone tool or as a functionality of a more complete decision support system for sustainable viticulture, vite.net, that Horta provides to viticultures. This system is an automatic system that collects several weather and field data from a wide weather station network and from handheld devices, analyzes all these data through advanced modeling techniques, provides supports and alarms to the manager of the vineyard that need to decide what to do in the vineyard. So for example, if there is a risk of primary infection of downy mildew, the system provides an alarm, and the manager can decide to perform a preventative treatment against downy mildew to be sure that the plants are protected by the plant protection products. Vite.net has an holistic view of the cultivation of grapes, and we have models and functionalities addressing all the important aspects of grape management. from the control by diseases and pests, the choice of the best plant protection product to be used, and the dose and the duration of this product on the plant. Models that addresses the main abiotic stresses, supports on other kind of management actions, and in particular with this LIFE project we were able to add the functionality on soil management. So I finished with my presentation and I'm available for any questions you have. Thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. So thank you very much for your presentation. So only a few things I would like to add is that next week on Tuesday we will organize another webinar. I will share in the chat briefly the link. If you still haven't registered, to register to the event. It's going to be a webinar on soil. Again, all Sara mentioned it before. It's going to be also is offered by the same project, European project. So just give me a few minutes and I will share.
Yes, if I can add, it is really interesting because it is we try to understand how, if and how we can pay back the farmer that implement an appropriate soil management. So if there can be public or private fundings to the farmers that demonstrate to manage the soil in a proper way to mitigate the soil threats.
Okay.
You can know, a good soil management can provide ecosystem services to the population, and therefore try benefits to the population, try to understand if the farmer can be paid back for these services they perform.
Okay, fantastic. So I shared the link to subscribe in the chat. Are you able to see it? If do you already managed to subscribe? It's for free. Also this presentation, and also on the documents I uploaded the presentation that Sara just made. So were you able to download it? Just let me know if you have any problems. Otherwise, I will assume that everything was okay. And again, if someone has any question on the presentation that Sara just made, please write in the comments in the question section. But I think that you were very clear, so maybe there's no question. I will give maybe 1 more minute to see if someone has any problem with the downloading of the PDF. Otherwise, we will be shutting down the webinar. And also another thing is that the presentation will be this webinar was registered, so you will be having the film of the webinar briefly. I think in a week they will be uploaded on the SOIL4WINE website. You have it here, www.soil4wine.eu. And yeah, I think that's it. Sara, thank you very much. And I don't know if you want to add anything. Go for it.
No, I'm fine. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, fantastic. So have a nice day. If you have any question, just I don't know, just go on the website and you will find everything. I see. Okay, Javier. Okay, thank you, Javier. Have a nice day. Thank you, Michele. Very clear. Okay, fantastic. So perfect. Have a nice day. Goodbye to everyone.
Okay, goodbye.
Ciao, ciao.